Goku has achieved Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue by now. And now with Beerus waking up so early, are things changing too much for Goku, or is it still manageable? We'll cover all that and more in the 7th part of What If Goku Was Reborn. Goku asks Cell to fight him, and Cell obviously won't turn this down, but he is a bit concerned. He knows Goku is way stronger than he realized. Maybe this is a trap, but also he might be able to absorb some power from Goku. The two begin fighting and Goku simply goes Super Saiyan. And Goku is impressed at first. He definitely seems much stronger than the other Cell that he fought, but he's clearly not strong enough to fight Goku here. He then launches up into the air, flying into space. Goku tries to go after him, but he purposefully lets Cell go. As Cell gets up into the sky, he then uses instant transmission to teleport away. Piccolo flies up after Goku and wonders what his next move is, and Goku says it's fine. He kind of expected Cell to have that reaction. He sees potential in Cell, both as a warrior and a potential ally. Now, he doesn't know if Cell would turn completely good, but the two of them are similar in some ways, mainly as warriors, so who knows, maybe there is a way to change him even without altering him genetically. Plus, he's not really concerned about Cell at the moment. Yeah, he's strong enough to fight the other people around here, but even the other Saiyans by now, they've achieved Super Saiyan God for themselves through training. Gohan on the other hand is ultimate. Piccolo's stronger than Cell too. Cell can't contend with anybody. He's not too much of a threat right now, especially without his perfect form, but Goku assumes that even if he did become perfect somehow, it wouldn't be enough. Cell would need to train a bunch to even catch up to them. They all have their own advantages, either potential awakenings, or just having godly ki. Cell has neither of those, but he is part Frieza, so maybe that will help him grow. And who knows, it could be a good challenge for Goku in the future. And even though things are going really differently here, remember, we're still in the 7 years before the Buu saga happens. Chi-Chi's kinda curious. One day she asks Goku what's changed so far in his life, and Goku explains. Most things have gone Goku's way so far. It's good that he has Chi-Chi to talk about this with, because even though it's really hard for her to comprehend, and even hard for Goku to comprehend, still, it's nice being able to talk about his previous life and his current one. And Goku's starting to realize that he can change more than he realized. He was so worried about not meeting the same people, but even with the changes that did happen, he still met them. They were naturally drawn to each other. Goku was just himself and didn't do anything extra. They naturally became friends, and that made him realize that a lot of the things in his life can go that way. Just being himself and doing the things that he would normally do, it would lead him to making choices that would eventually affect the people around him. In any life, he'd probably find Chi-Chi. The same goes for his friends, Krillin, Bulma, all the people he's close with. They became friends so easily because they meshed so well. And now he has others too. For example, even though Piccolo is sorta similar to the one he knows, personality-wise, there are enough differences to actually be noticeable. Then there's Nappa, someone that Goku just fought for a little bit and then barely learned anything about. He doesn't interact with Nappa a lot here, but he is around. Like, his only impression of Raditz was that he wanted to kidnap Gohan and kill everybody. But now he actually knows him. He sees him as an actual person and not just a monster. It's cool to have a brother here. And Chi-Chi wonders, would Goku ever tell Raditz about his past? Well, not exactly. He thought about who else he would tell, and yeah, Raditz is his brother, but he isn't really too close with Raditz here, but slowly over time the two are developing somewhat of a bond, even though they don't interact too much. But it wouldn't really make sense for him to tell Raditz because he never knew Raditz before. It's not like he's replicating any relationship from beforehand. This is a completely new one that he's formed. He's actually told Gohan about his past by now, but Goten doesn't know just yet. But there is one other person he's been thinking about telling. Vegeta. Chi-Chi says he should go for it, and you know what? He will. Goku gets in contact with Vegeta one day, and Vegeta thinks he wants to spar. But he says he has something important to tell him, and that's when he drops the bombshell on him. He tells Vegeta about his past. Actually, their past. About how he was sent back in time, reborn, and then now he's trying to relive that same life. He expects Vegeta to question the legitimacy of it, but Vegeta actually believes him right off the bat. That would be a weird thing to lie about. He's more so interested about Kakarot's process here. So, he knew everything before. He could tell how everything was going to play out before it even happened. Well, mostly. A lot of things have changed, but from a bird's eye view, yeah, he saw a lot of things coming here. So, that's why Kakarot had him come to Earth, isn't it? The whole act of him trying to intimidate the Saiyans and draw them here. He always thought it was weird that Kakarot did that and then it turned out to be completely different. And yeah, that's exactly why he did that. But he tells Vegeta it was for a good reason. Vegeta was an important part of his past life, which kinda surprises Vegeta to hear, because even though he looks to Kakarot as a goal, wanting to surpass and beat him one day, he wasn't sure if he'd ever reach those heights. He always told himself that he could, but deep down, he feared that he couldn't. Why not tell Raditz about any of this? That's his brother. And Goku tells him the same thing he told Chi-Chi. It wouldn't really benefit him because he never had a bond with Raditz. There's nothing to emulate there. But with Vegeta, that was his greatest rival. And he even would say Vegeta was a friend to him. Sure, they had a strange relationship compared to his other friends. Vegeta is definitely more introverted than a lot of them and doesn't have typical friendships. But at some point down the line, especially after the Buu stuff happened, yeah, Vegeta definitely was a friend to him, but more importantly a rival. and he tells Vegeta that even though he knew a lot of the things going into this new life, he didn't really orchestrate a lot of things. Sure, he had to orchestrate meeting the people, but the rest happened naturally. For Vegeta specifically, the biggest thing was having him come here. He ended up with Bulma naturally. Goku didn't even need help with the matchmaking there. And Vegeta's kind of embarrassed to hear this, but it's good to know he was with Bulma in the past life too. But everything with Vegeta turning good and growing on his own, that's just who he is. He's glad Vegeta's here, and that kind of just speaks to his character. Goku didn't really need to do much. Vegeta developed pretty much the same way he expected, both as a warrior and as a person, though he is definitely farther beyond his original self at this point. I mean, having Super Saiyan God this early on, that's pretty huge, and Vegeta silently nods. But he does have a question. He asks Kakarot how strong he used to be. Well, Goku says that after some point, the two of them were always neck and neck. Sure, there would be moments where Goku would get ahead, but Vegeta would find some way to catch up. And before everything happened with Fu, they were pretty much around each other's level. And Vegeta didn't even have the same type of power as Goku. He obtained his own abilities, and he's about to say what it is, but Vegeta cuts him off. Don't tell him. Right now he's facing away from Goku, but he turns back to him with a smirk. Kakarot said everything happened naturally, right? Well, he wants to figure out his power on his own. He doesn't want any hints, and it's more fun to do it this way. Goku nods. Right. So, now he knows why Kakarot was always so far ahead. Well, Goku says that he was always pretty strong before, but yeah, this is kind of different. He recounts how he initially became a Super Saiyan in his old life, then obtaining Super Saiyan 2 while he was dead, as well as Super Saiyan 3, and then even Super Saiyan 4 just by training further, but after unlocking his God forms, he mainly focused on those. He was supposed to become a Super Saiyan God years from now. Same goes for Vegeta. But Vegeta promises that he'll surpass Goku. He'll grow stronger than him without the knowledge of how to do so, just to one-up him. And that makes Goku happy. It really is the same Vegeta that he knew before. He's glad he got to tell him about this, and though Vegeta doesn't really say it, he appreciates Kakarot telling him all this too. This is about a year before the Buu saga, so Vegeta is very well adjusted to Earth, and he has spent enough time around Goku to know him better. But speaking of the Saiyans, what are they doing? Well, like I mentioned, they've gotten Godly Ki from Goku, and they've had Super Saiyan God for a little bit now, though Goku does have a task for Vegeta and something that he might like to do. He tells Vegeta about Majin Buu, and then he gathers up Raditz and Nappa. Goku would have handled this himself, but he didn't want to take all the fun. He did some scouting and eventually found Babidi's ship, so the three Saiyans went out there on their own. Now, one thing in the back of Goku's mind was the fact that Vegeta did give in to Babidi's mind control, and Goku actually watches nearby, trying to keep a low profile. He doesn't think Vegeta will give in here, but he just wants to watch what happens. The three Saiyans assault the ship, and it's kind of like good old times for them. This is the first time they've done a mission together in a while. They encounter Dabra, and they do rock, paper, scissors to figure out who fights. Nappa's the one to fight him, and it doesn't take much effort. He kills Dabra pretty easily. They go through the rest of the ship, and then Babidi starts to panic. First of all, confused on how he's been found so early, and second, wondering how he could counter this threat. He tries to take over one of the Saiyans, but it doesn't work. Particularly he tries Vegeta, and Vegeta doesn't give in. He'll get stronger his own way, and the other two are the same. He doesn't need Babidi's boost, and there's no reason for him to turn back to his old self. Clearly, the new version of Vegeta, that's the one that's going to get a lot stronger, especially after what Kakarot just told him. And they're also sure to not provide too much energy for Majin Buu. Babidi is defeated pretty easily. Raditz is surprised to see Vegeta's new outlook. Something's definitely changed, and Vegeta does find it weird that Kakarot's own brother doesn't know, but he just tells Raditz if he wants to understand, he should see his brother more and make an effort to potentially become a better ally to him. Now with Babidi gone, Buu isn't an issue, and Shin comes to Earth to take his egg. Goku isn't sure how to purify him, so he's not released for now. The World Tournament eventually rolls around, and it's normal for once. It's great. Goku really wants to enter, but he knows he'd win if he did, so he doesn't. Plus, everybody recognizes him as a previous 3-time champion. He sat out the last tournament just so Mr. Satan could become the world champ. Especially without Cell being a threat here, this lets him get his claim to fame. Though, the winner ends up being Gohan in a final battle against Vegeta, a pretty explosive battle at that. Gohan did want to enter in his Great Saiyaman disguise, but that eventually came off. And unfortunately, Ultimate doesn't really disguise him too much, it just makes his hair a little different. But he had to use it here, especially against Vegeta, who wouldn't have wanted him to hold back. Goku has been waiting a while too. There's something else he needs to accomplish. After getting this strong, he's looked around for a while. He's been searching, and he finally found what he's been looking for. And this isn't a metaphorical search, it is a literal search. He's trying to find something, someone. He'll be occasionally absent, and no one really knows why. Though, he does ask Bulma for some supplies from time to time. There's someone he's trying to meet, but kinda covertly, and he has to go about it very carefully. With the power he has now though, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Thankfully, no one questions it. So as I mentioned a couple times in the scenario before, I'm going to consider that Daima happened for this Goku. So what's going to happen for Daima here? Well, after Dabra's death, Goma eventually goes to the lookout. Too bad for him that Piccolo's guardian here and not Dende. He's no nonsense. Piccolo clones himself into 3. One clone restrains each person, one for Degasu, one for Neva, one for Goma. Goku warned him about Goma too, and to intimidate him, Piccolo goes orange. He's had this for a bit too. Neva's impressed with his power, and seeing he's a fellow Namekian, Piccolo doesn't treat him too harshly. Who knows, it could be good to have connections to a Namekian from the Demon Realm. Goma panics and escapes, and Degasu follows with Neva close behind. And as they leave, he asks Neva to gather the Dragon Balls, which he does. It's pretty easy. Quickly, Goma wishes for the third eye. He's not going to try and weaken them, he's just going to make himself stronger. Shenron then drops the third eye out of the sky, with Goma sticking a hand out to catch it, but then a hand extends out in front of him. Piccolo's watching nearby. What, did they really think they could outspeed and outsmart him? He retracts his stretched arm, holding the third eye in his hand. He actually teleported right near them. Being Guardian does have perks like that, and he's not really sure what to do with this third eye, but he could feel crazy power coming from it. He simply opens his mouth and eats it. Goma and Degasu's jaws drop. Piccolo was just trying to get rid of the thing, but it actually ends up merging with him. He feels a huge surge of power. He simply lifts up a finger and blows up Goma. He doesn't know who the next Demon King will be, but he could serve as that. After all, he's Demon King Piccolo. He's the Guardian of Earth, and now the Demon King as well. Is that a conflict of interest? Can he hold both positions? No one can really tell him otherwise. A few weeks pass and Goku eventually hears of this. Turns out, Piccolo killed Goma, then eventually visited the Demon Realm, and Rinsu's gonna kinda do everything for him there, because she was smart enough to strike a deal with Piccolo. He's gonna hold the title of Demon King, while she'll actually manage everything. That keeps both of them happy, and Piccolo can also monitor everything there. Wow, Goku didn't really expect that when he told him about Goma. But more important, he feels Piccolo's grown a lot stronger for some reason. Oh yeah, he tells him he ate some sort of third eye thing. The third eye? Goku remembers how strong that made Goma, and the fact that there were multiple of them too. To think Piccolo got it. Well, it should be in good hands at least. But now that it is in Piccolo's hands, or in his stomach rather, naturally Goku's next question is, how strong is Piccolo now? He wants to test out that power. And Piccolo smirks. Sure, that sounds like fun. With that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's gonna happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.